Hey everyone, on today's episode of Hubris Syndrome, we're talking about Desperados 3. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today we are talking about Desperados 3. No, not a sequel to the Antonio Banderas movie, Desperado, which is freaking awesome. No, Desperados 3, the real-time tactics game set in the Old West. Let's dive right in.
Let's make it quick. See you later.
So this game's been getting a ton of buzz lately, and deservedly so. I have not played a game like this since Commandos growing up. And then I think when we were still in Jones's garage a while back, the good old game streams, we revisited Commandos. And Desperados 3, I am just obsessed with now. Of course, it has the Old West setting, which, you know, is usually pretty awesome and surprisingly underserved in big budget video games. I know we just got Red Dead and Call of Juarez come to mind, but this game just nails that Old West feeling, especially this track, Don. This tune has been stuck in my head all week. So for those of you that don't know what Desperados is, and maybe are put off by the 3 in the title, I know I'm usually a little hesitant when it comes to just diving into a sequel. Don't be alarmed, because this is a prequel actually to the original Desperados, which came out all the way back in 2001, and then it had 2 sequels that came out in 2006 and 2007. So the series has been gone for a while, but now it's back, and it is a real-time tactics game where stealth is the primary focus, but you can still go guns blazing if you like. It's just a little more challenging. But that's what I want to dive into next, is the accessibility and the difficulty.
Oh, shit.
Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
Oh, we'll get to you in a minute. You know the drill. Everybody out!
So it is a very challenging game. Fortunately, there are 4 difficulties right out of the gate. I'm just playing on normal, and it seems pretty fair so far. I definitely have to try. You definitely have to think. But it's still so accessible. It's such an inviting game. Right out of the gate, they encourage you to always quick save and quick load. You know, they say it's a part of the game, so don't feel bad about doing so. And to be more accessible, it does take a few liberties. Like, you can be right next to someone and they won't discover you, which is totally fine. You know, you have to be in their vision cone. Usually that stuff bothers me when a game is trying to be more immersive, but for this game, I think it works. And of course, I'm just playing on normal, so on Desperado difficulty, you know, if someone sees you even for a split second, they're gonna get you. But there's a lot to unpack, so let's dive into some of these mechanics. Obviously, the enemies have vision cones. You can kind of highlight one at a time and see where their vision is. If you're crouched, you're obviously more concealed. You can hide in bushes and little outhouses to avoid detection. I just absolutely love the stealth mechanics of having to eliminate someone out of view and then hide their body, Agent 47 style. You can hide on rooftops and use the environment to eliminate people and make it look like an accident. There's just so much freedom in this. And of course you can go guns blazing, but resources are limited. There's just so much to always think about without it ever feeling overwhelming.
Fine with me. Bring it on.
So there are 5 lead characters and they all have different abilities. Cooper has a knife that he can throw, and then when he throws it, he has to go retrieve it to do more. So you can't just go around ninja style throwing knives everywhere. You really gotta pick your timing. Hector is my personal favorite because he has an axe, a bear trap, and a sawed-off shotgun.
How's it going?
Good to see you, amigo.
Would hate to be that guy.
Then, of course, there's other characters as well, Kate and the Doc. Kate can go 47 style and use disguises. Doc has a long-range pistol and a medical bag. And I haven't played long enough to actually get to the 5th character. I'm still about 4 or 5 hours in, so I'm not quite to the 5th and final character yet, but I'm excited to find out who that is and how they shake up the gameplay.
On my way. Gas trap, huh? Not bad.
Another beautiful thing is how varied the stages and the objectives are. You know, we're doing classic Old West scenarios where people are robbing a train and we gotta defend it. Or we have to eliminate some of these railroad workers that are taking advantage of the townsfolk in these Old West towns. There's even a Deadwood shout out, so that's cool.
First, we got Jarvis here. Real tough guy. Right now, he's in that backyard trying to ride the town bull.
The initial town has been one of my favorite missions. There are 4 people that you have to eliminate, all in different areas. One of the targets is in the hotel, and you have to find ways to kind of sneak in. You can poison the whiskey, which I didn't do. I just went in and stabbed her in the gut.
All right, let's deal with the rest of them.
My thoughts exactly.
And then, of course, it's all tied together by a pretty awesome story so far. It gives you bits and pieces. Cooper is hunting a man named Frank for unknown reasons. Hector is his old friend he hasn't seen in a while, so they're together. Kate comes into the scenario in an interesting way. And same with Doc. You know, you save Doc right in the early mission. He's going to get taken out, and you kind of have an uneasy alliance. You know, he's a bounty hunter all about the cash.
I'd say you owe me one.
And just the way they're presented, you know, they have banter during the missions, there's cutscenes in between the missions to add context, and I'm just really impressed with the presentation and the story and the gameplay all coming together in a very satisfying way.
Guess you made the DeWitt Company happy today. How much do you get for a job like this?
Hope you're not expecting a cut.
Then for the hardcore players, there's badges and challenges you can do after the fact. I like that you have to finish a mission before these challenges unlock, because I find when you have challenges initially, you're so hyper-focused on those, it can kind of disrupt how you play. But in this instance, you just play the mission to try to get through and then worry about going back and doing that completionist stuff like badges and challenges.
Come on. Eyes on the target. I'll get close and personal.
So yeah, I'm just about 4 or 5 hours into this game and I'm absolutely loving it. Again, I just want to stress how challenging it is while also being so accessible. You can just quick save anytime and quick load if you mess up. It's really intuitive design. You know kind of exactly what you need to do. It's just a matter of executing the plan. There's multiple ways to go about these situations. It's just a really challenging while also accessible experience.
No objections here. Okay, let's go.
And I'd be remiss if I wouldn't recommend some Western films for you to get further in the mood. A couple highlights. Tombstone. Obviously, this was one of my brother's all-time favorite movies. We used to grow up watching the VHS of this way too many times. Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday, one of the all-time great film characters. I'm not even gonna quote him because I can't do it justice, but he's got too many good lines. You know the line.
I'm your huckleberry.
And then, of course, my favorite Western, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. To me, it's the absolute culmination of the genre. Clint Eastwood does one final job as an old veteran gunslinger. And of course, the supporting cast, you have Morgan Freeman as Clint's old buddy. You have the Schofield kid, who's this up-and-coming wannabe gunslinger. Gene Hackman as Little Bill, and Richard Harris as English Bob. It is a can't-miss movie. I cannot stress enough. As soon as this video ends, go watch Unforgiven, 10 out of 10. And that's it for the episode. That is Desperados III. I'm so impressed with this game. I want to find more time to finish it off. If you like what you saw, help us out on patreon.com and twitch.tv/easyallies. We're always streaming there. See you next time.
Hey now, are you kidding me?
I'd say we're even now.